Luminar Technologies is developing innovative products for the driverless car market. Now, development and incorporation of its products into manufacturing for vehicles has not gone as quickly as expected, but the company is progressing. And since its growth is slower than expected, it's cutting costs to sustain cash flow to bridge the gap until it becomes standardized across a broader set of vehicle manufacturers. So, in this video, I wanted to highlight what's been going on with Luminar Technologies. And so, let's dive into the details.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So, Luminar is saying that they've already made largely the required investments to build their technology infrastructure. So, most of their investment are behind them. So, this quarter alone, they also saw a $20 million improvement of free cash flow. And the company expects the cost should continue to come down as they ride the wave of their previous investments and actions. So, they're expecting to start to benefit from the investments they made in previous years. And that's going to create a nice little improvement for the company's free cash flow as they await the development of this industry. In some good news, the company said they're delivering more LiDAR products this quarter to Volvo than the prior 3 quarters combined to all of their customers. So the implementation of its LiDAR products into Volvo cars has increased their delivery numbers exponentially. And Volvo has also announced that they're going to add Luminar's technologies in more of their vehicles. So far, it's working really well, and they want to expand the relationship. So the Luminar is saying that majority of major automakers now have LiDAR embedded into the roadmaps for release this decade, and the longer-term opportunity has never been stronger. So what that means is that some of the major automakers, when they're planning newer models, let's say their 2027 model or their 2026 model, they're incorporating LiDAR into those product decisions. So they're planning to have LiDAR embedded into those products that they're going to launch in the back half of this decade. It could be 2026, could be 2028, depends on the development of this technology, the improvement in performance versus the cost of implementing or incorporating the technology. So the company is taking action to mitigate the near-term headwinds faced by this slower ramp time than was planned several years ago. So several years ago, they thought that the growth of LiDAR into vehicles would be much better than it actually is. So a handful of years back, they had as many as 200 different competitors, but today they can count on one hand the number of companies that are alive and theoretically capable of building a product that competes with them for global automotive and meets global automotive standards. So many of their competitors have gone out of business and they're now facing limited competition. So if or when this technology becomes embedded and standardized, and Luminar has an opportunity to reach a significant market share in this product category. Now, there is still a debate whether or not you're going to use or you're going to see LiDAR and radar incorporated in driverless cars, or if it's going to be camera only. Tesla famously is promoting the camera only approach because of the lower cost. And other companies are going the other route, right? Waymo's driverless cars on roads today in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Phoenix, and other areas uses the most advanced technology, including LiDAR and radar. But those vehicles come at higher cost. And so if you want to implement this technology more broadly and do so more quickly, then maybe the camera only approach would be the faster way to go. But in my opinion, safety is going to be a big selling point for regulators and customers. If you have the availability of something like Waymo, which uses the more safe and higher cost approach, and you're a regulator and you're considering which one of the companies to approve to operate in your city or in your state, you're going to go with the safer approach because you don't want to face the backlash when there's an accident and there are some people that die, unfortunately, as a result of the accident, it could come back on the regulator and say, well, you chose to approve this less safe technology instead of the more safe technology because of cost, because of profit. And you can imagine the backlash that regulators and politicians will face as a result of those decisions. So I'm thinking they'll go with the safer option and choose the companies that have the most safety standard equipment like LiDAR and radar, as well as cameras, and choose not to approve those camera only companies that might not be as safe as those using LiDAR and radar. So that remains to be seen. Of course, that's my speculation and could be significantly different than what I'm expecting. So the moves that Luminar Technology has made will lower their cost about $80 million annually once they're fully implemented. And that's going to be critical for them to give them that runway, that bridge to get to the point when they're delivering this technology into more vehicles and expanding relationships. So they have relationships already with Volvo and a Japanese automaker. And as this technology gets rolled out and consumers start using it, we'll get a better sense of the cost versus performance against the camera only systems. And we'll get a better idea of in the market how it incorporates this technology. So they're going to be collecting data from their sensors around the world and training AI models to be able to enable next generation assisted and autonomous driving systems. So with LiDAR, this is true 3D ground truth data as well. It's not 2D data. So it's higher quality data than the camera only data that Tesla is collecting and other companies are collecting. And Tesla, for one, has been very promotional about their data and how much video footage they have from their vehicles and how valuable that is. Well, Luminar is saying that their data is more valuable because it's going to be 3D data, not just 2D data. And so the importance of this is that it allows you to create truth and understanding the world around you with an incredible amount of precision and accuracy down to the centimeter level. And again, I'll highlight this is going to be more important to people when you're not owning these vehicles and you're just hailing driverless rides, as is expected, for the industry, let's say 20 years from now, 10 years from now. You're going to be hailing these types of driverless rides from companies like Uber and Lyft and Tesla and others that implement these so-called driverless cars, and you just go on your app on the phone and order a ride. Data is going to be available on which cars are safer. And if a consumer knows that one of those cars has LiDAR and radar, the other one doesn't, which one would you choose? Right? How much cheaper would the less safe option have to be for you to choose the less safe option? Right? So that's going to be a big question mark that will ultimately need to be answered by the market and by regulators.
Hey everyone, so many of you have been asking about my investing strategy, and I'm excited to announce that I've written a book that's available for sale now that describes my 6-step investing framework for evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.